It starts from the sound of a door closing, an ordinary door. Then, silence. A single overhead light turns on. You look down at a pair of worn-out shoes on a wooden floor. There's a weight that doesn't have a name. Not exactly. It sits somewhere between your chest and your throat. It's there when you fill out a form and write your parents' occupation. It's there when someone asks where you went to school and you watch their face for the reaction. It's there every single morning, before you even open your eyes. A mirror. A face. Tired, but present. You know that weight. I know you do. Because you're the first. The first one to push past where everyone before you stopped. And nobody prepared you for how lonely that road would feel. You were the first person in your family to actually make it. For the 15-year-old in the back of the class, a classroom, late afternoon light, a teenager staring out the window while others laugh around them. Not sad, just distant, thinking somewhere else entirely. If you're 15 right now, sitting in a class where nobody in your house has ever explained what happens after, this is for you first. You look around and you see kids whose parents went to university, whose dinner table conversations involve career plans and investment accounts and summer internships. And then there's your dinner table, rent, arguments, silence, or maybe just the TV, because nobody has the energy for conversation after 12-hour shifts. The teenager at the window turns back to their notebook, starts writing. You are not behind. You are not less. You are learning survival alongside everything else, and that makes you more qualified for real life than most people in that room will ever be. The fire you're being forged in right now, that's not a setback. That's your foundation. Don't you dare shrink. The chapter nobody writes about. Fast cuts of hands typing, early mornings, bus rides, textbooks, rejection letters crumpled and tossed, then smoothed back out and read again. Let me tell you about the chapter nobody writes in the success story. The chapter between I decided to change everything and it actually worked. That chapter is ugly. That chapter is waking up at 5 a.m. when you didn't sleep till 2. That chapter is applying for the same opportunity 18 times and getting rejected 17. That chapter is doing homework at a kitchen table while your whole family argues in the next room, and somehow, still getting it done. That chapter is the one they skip in every interview. And then things started to take off. No, what happened between the struggle and the takeoff? You happened. Every single day, you chose to keep going when quitting was easier, quieter, and honestly, nobody would have blamed you, but you didn't quit. That's the whole story. Everything else is just details. For the parent working 2 jobs, a parent in a car, still in work uniform, checking their phone before going inside. Maybe you're not 15 anymore. Maybe you're 38, working 2 jobs, and making it looks different for you. Maybe it's not a corner office. It's just making sure your kids never have to feel what you felt. That counts. That counts more than most people will ever understand. You became the first in a different way. You decided that the cycle stops with you, not with a speech, not with a grand announcement, just quietly, in the way you show up every single day, even when your body says stop, even when you're so tired that getting up feels like climbing a mountain. The parent takes a breath, puts the phone down, gets out of the car, walks to the front door. Your children will not know the word sacrifice in the same sentence as your name, not because you hid it, but because you turned it into something else. You turned it into their normal, a normal where things are possible, where trying is enough, where they are enough. That is the most powerful inheritance in the world, and you built it with your bare hands. The guilt nobody talks about. You walk through a neighborhood, older buildings, familiar streets, people who knew you when a woman waves from a doorstep, a man nods from a corner. The world you came from, intact. Here's the part they really don't talk about. The guilt. The guilt of wanting more than what your parents had, because wanting more feels like saying they weren't enough. The guilt of moving away, moving up, moving forward, while the people you love stay behind. Not by choice, but by circumstance. The guilt of sitting at a new table, eating different food, speaking different vocabulary, and suddenly feeling like a stranger to yourself. That guilt is real. It deserves to be named. But here's what it is not. It is not proof that you did something wrong. Your success is not a betrayal of where you came from. It is the fullest possible expression of what your family sacrificed for. Every struggle your parents swallowed, every dream your grandparents buried, every time someone in your bloodline looked at a closed door and kept walking anyway, they were walking toward you, toward this. You are not leaving them behind. You are carrying them forward. No more apologizing. Sunrise, sprinting, writing, building, creating. No slow motion, pure momentum. I need you to hear this right now, wherever you are, whatever age you are. Stop apologizing for wanting more. Stop making yourself smaller so other people feel comfortable. Stop pretending you don't have ambition, because ambition in your world wasn't supposed to be on the menu. You are allowed to want the degree. You are allowed to want the business. You are allowed to want the life that looks nothing like the one you were handed and chase it with everything you have, without one single apology to anyone. The world did not build its systems for people like you. That is a fact, and people like you built the world anyway. That is also a fact. So which story do you want to be part of? Get back to work.
For the one who almost stopped at 50, an older pair of hands holding a cup of tea, a window, trees outside, the quiet kind of morning that only comes after decades of loud ones. And if you're watching this in your 50s or your 60s, and you're thinking this message isn't for you anymore, I need you to stay right here, because you are not done, not even close. Maybe you spent 30 years building something for your family and forgot to build something for yourself. Maybe you kept putting your dream on the shelf, telling yourself, next year, when things settle down, when the kids are older, when there's more time. And now you're sitting in a house that's a little quieter, and you're looking at that shelf, and the dream is still there. Dusty, but still there. Here is what I know about people who lived hard and kept going. They have something the young ones don't: perspective, patience, an understanding of what actually matters and what absolutely does not. You have been tested in ways that would have broken most people, and you are still here, still breathing, still reading the chapter. That dream on the shelf, take it down, dust it off. You have time, you have wisdom, and you have nothing left to prove to anyone except yourself. Start.
What making it actually means. You sit at a desk, not an executive office, just a desk, papers, a lamp, a photo turned face down, then face up, quiet. We need to talk about what making it actually means, because I don't think it means what the world sold us. Making it is not a number in your bank account. It is not a job title. It is not a house in a specific postcode or a car in a certain lane. Those things can be part of it, but they are not it. Making it is the moment you realize that the ceiling your family hit wasn't the ceiling. It was just the floor they built for you to stand on. Making it is when fear stops making decisions for you. When you stop defining yourself by what you didn't have and start defining yourself by what you choose to build. When the voice in your head that used to say, people like us don't do things like this, goes quiet. Not forever, but quiet enough. You don't need to arrive somewhere to have made it. You make it every day you keep choosing the harder, braver, more honest version of your life. The ones watching you, your legacy, younger siblings watching an older one, a child at a parent's feet while they study, a niece or nephew sitting wide-eyed at a dinner table conversation, watching, learning, without even knowing it. Here's something you might not have sat with long enough. Someone is watching you. A little cousin who thinks you're the coolest person alive. A younger sibling who copies the way you carry yourself. A neighbor kid who doesn't know your name but watched you leave every morning at the same time with the same look on your face, determined, and decided they want that look too. You are the proof of concept for everyone who comes from where you come from. Your existence, your real, messy, imperfect, still going existence is the evidence that it can be done. Not in theory, in reality, in this neighborhood, in this family, in this body, with this history, with these circumstances. You don't need to be famous. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to keep going, because somewhere, someone is using your life as permission to try. Don't take that from them.
The letter you never got, but needed. You hold a blank piece of paper. I want to give you something. The letter you never got. The one nobody in your life knew how to write because they were too tired or too proud or too broken themselves. So here it is. I see how hard you're working. I see what it costs you.
The sleep, the social life, the version of yourself that just wants to rest. I see the days when you almost gave up and chose not to. I see you carrying things no one asked you to carry and putting them down long enough to keep moving. You are doing something extraordinary. Not because it looks extraordinary from the outside, but because of what it takes on the inside every single day just to keep going. I am proud of you, not of your results, of your effort, of your courage, of the fact that you chose yourself when nobody taught you how.
Keep going. You are worth every single step of this. That letter was always meant for you. Consider it delivered. The final push. All ages, one truth. The teenager at the desk, the parent by the car, the older hands at the window, all of them. All ages, all one story. Whether you are 15 or 55, whether you were just starting out or rebuilding from the middle, whether you were chasing something new or finally finishing something old, this road was never supposed to be easy for you. It was supposed to be impossible, and here you are, still on it. The first person in your family to make it doesn't get a ceremony, doesn't get a guide, doesn't get a map. They get the road, raw, unmarked, and entirely theirs, and they walk it anyway. That is not a burden. That is the rarest kind of power there is. The power of someone who chose themselves when the whole world was built to make sure they didn't. You are that person. You have always been that person. And everything you are building, every brick, every late night, every quiet sacrifice is a door you're leaving open for everyone who comes after you. Walk through yours first. You've earned it.
The door. You stand in front of a door, plain, ordinary, the same door from the very beginning of the video. Hand reaches out, grips the handle. The door was never locked. It just needed someone willing to believe they were allowed to open it. The door opens, light beyond it, not blinding, just warm. You step through. The door stays open behind them. Now leave it open. For the ones still on the road, you are not the end of your family's story. You are the beginning of a new one.